it's Stephanie from ALTIUS. And as many of you know, ALTIUS focuses on workforce optimization and productivity. So this week we've been doing a sequence of sessions educating you on productivity in healthcare. During the first session, we talked about what is productivity and why is productivity important to healthcare. The second segment, we focused on why productivity is important now and what does it mean. And today we're going to focus on what does it mean to manage productivity. And when we're thinking about managing productivity, it's really about developing out an accountability structure that's going to help you hold your managers accountable. And really it starts with a factor of benchmarking. Anytime you're starting any productivity engagement or you're really starting to think about how you might be able to improve, you want to understand how you compare against other organizations. So any productivity engagement or any productivity situation tends to start with benchmarking. And those benchmarking processes compare you to other hospitals or other clinics or other entities. And it's important to think through that when you're being benchmarked, you want those benchmarks and comparative groups to be as similar to you as possible, but understand they're only going to be 80 to 95% the same as you. So get as close as possible with the same outcomes as possible and giving you a starting point. Once you have the benchmarks, those benchmarks are really just a starting point to understand where you may have opportunities for change. And the reason it's important to manage productivity is because you want to understand where you're operating today so that you can improve tomorrow. And those improvements may only be very small incremental changes, but those small incremental changes over time have a huge impact on your hospital. So as you're holding your managers accountable and you're building out the structure of accountability, you want to think through the fact that if you could ask them to change one thing a month or one or two items a month, each month for the next 12 months, at the end of that period, their productivity is going to be in a very dramatically different situation. So what it means to manage productivity is really to benchmark your organization against other similar organizations, to understand how you compare against those departments, where you might have opportunities to improvement, and then to really identify the targets and the goals that you're working towards. And as you identify those targets and goals, productivity is only going to matter to you and only be important if those goals match up with the strategies of your hospital, the strategies of your clinic, and only if those productivity goals are going to match up with your financial needs. If your productivity targets are out of alignment with your strategic plan or out of alignment with your financial goals, they're not going to work for your organization. So as you're meeting as a senior leadership team or as you're meeting with the department, make sure that the benchmarks meet your needs and provide you with a sound structure for understanding where you have opportunities. Make sure that your goals are realistic so that your managers can start to work through and towards those goals, and you can hold them accountable to those goals. And then make sure at the end point that those productivity metrics and productivity goals are ultimately going to help you get to the endpoint that you need to get. Whether that's a financial endpoint, whether it's an operating goal, whether it's a goal for your strategic plan. Regardless of whether you're trying to improve access, you're trying to reduce costs, you're simply trying to improve throughput, productivity is going to provide you with the goals and the metrics and the targets to help get you there. So that's one of the main reasons it's important to manage productivity. Thank you.